Hey, what's happening? Joe Fier here. In this episode, I want to break down an assessment, one that I feel like every business owner, every founder, entrepreneur, anyone who is a a person doing human things. So basically, everyone, but specifically, it's really helpful if you want to understand the superpowers that you have. Ultimately, it's not your strengths or weaknesses or like that kind of things. You probably have seen some of these things like the DISC assessment or the Myers-Brigg. Well, this one is different, where it actually tests the ways that you act, not with your thinking, not with your emotional side, but your instinctual side of things. So I'm going to break it down. This is great for interacting with people, communicating. It's also how you can work and basically make your time expand, do the right things and not other things to harness your better energy for everything. Communicate better, hire people, expand what you're doing, communicate with clients in a better way. I'll show you exactly how to do it and walk you through what this is. In today's world online, customers and everybody expect personalized support on every channel and in every way. They want it done right now. But the problem is most solutions out there don't allow that to happen. They're not delivering. So your customer service reps are struggling to stay productive. And your customers, honestly, just aren't as happy as they probably once were. Now's the time to change that. This is exactly why there's a new AI-powered service hub from HubSpot. The service hub actually allows you to bring this type of level of service and success together for the first time so you can deliver on the expectations that people are expecting. And actually, it's boosting revenue along the way. The reps that are using Service Hub from HubSpot right now are reporting 13 times faster to help them resolve tickets. And also it helps them close something like 42% more tickets per day. So that basically means that you're also retaining people at a much higher rate. They're saying more than 80%. Not only that, you're getting this full 360 view of your customers in this smart CRM that basically helps and supports you in the marketing, sales, and service delivery and success of your team, but also making the experience much better for your customer, which boosts your revenue and your business growth. Go and visit HubSpot.com/service to learn how this all new solution can help you deliver for your customers. Now, getting into this is a carry on from the episode I released with Justin Breen just the other day. So go check that out. I would say, after this episode, or if you want to pause it and then go there first. Justin, the reason why I had him on is that he, very unique man, where he just cuts right into it. This guy has studied visionaries like none other. And what he uses is an assessment called the Kolbe Assessment. That's Kolbe. And you may or may not have heard of this. And if you have, well, and if you haven't taken it yourself, this is the episode for you and why it's so important and why it's honestly, it's a little paid assessment. It's only $55. I think it is extremely valuable for any entrepreneur, founder, anyone who wants, like yourself, I'm sure, you want to figure out what are the things that you might be aware of, but you might not be aware of because you're maybe overthinking, or you're kind of letting your emotions kind of gauge where you should live, or you're just not harnessing all of those things. So Justin, just going back to that really fast, this episode, he breaks down how a lot of visionaries, which are starters and founders and entrepreneurs, a lot of us are visionaries, how we think, but also a lot of the hurdles that we dive into a lot of the times without thinking. So the journey of a visionary, and also bigger, and this is where Kolbe comes in, how we can tap into our intuition to get out of our brains and into more of our heart, into the way that we, it's like the whispers that we might get when we're away from a computer or away from people, but what's the intuition, the things that that you should be doing or focusing on or not doing. This is typically what the Kolbe assessment will help you identify very clearly. So I'm going to walk you through that. You got to check it out. And I made a quick link, and this is going to be for your reference. You can sign up for it if you want. It's also a way you could just test it out. You can see what the questions are like. If you go to hustleandflowchart.com/Kolbe, that's Kolbe. But before, I even say hey, go take this, I want you to listen to kind of the why this is important, but also how it analyzes what you end up doing this assessment. It's a 36 question assessment. It takes maybe about 10, 15 minutes. The questions are honestly kind of odd, but the whole point is that it gets you to intuitively think, okay, in this certain scenario, like if I were solving a difficult problem, I would rely on, and this is a most to least, is it your skill, research, ability to structure, or is it experimentation? So that's a more or least kind of thing. So you'd select them. All the questions are different. We're not going to go through those here. But the point is to take what you are thinking in your mind and also with your emotions, like how you react to certain situations, and then pairing it up with a third thing, which is how you will act in those scenarios. And that's typically your intuition or the thing that gets you to act. You know, there's an optimized way that we all operate, and we're all different. Visionaries are ones that operate typically in a lot higher quick start. That means they like get into action, they experiment quicker. But the follow through, them actually implementing and doing things, and this is me included, which I will break down my score so you understand where I'm at and maybe you'll relate. You know, we're not the best at sticking with the system and doing things for a long time, or building things from scratch and then sustaining. Maybe it's great to get off the ground. Like a lot of us visionaries, you have the vision and you figure out a plan to get started quickly. But we need to rely on a stabilizer or an integrator, someone to help pick up the pieces or at least decipher our wild ideas and put them into a plan, into a system, in something. Maybe they do some more research for you where you don't do as much. Or maybe you're listening and you're like, yeah, I work with visionaries, or I know a lot of them. I'm not that. Maybe you're the stabilizer. Maybe you're the one that gets to be that valuable person in the relationship, or maybe you communicate differently once you understand who's who. You know, it opens up the doors to how you communicate with your team, with partners of yours, with your clients, also with your spouses or partners at home. I've had my wife take a test and the Kolbe Assessment. And it's great because we're similar, but at the same time, she is my stabilizer. I'm a higher quick start. She's lower. So she curbs my enthusiasms, a little pun intended there. And that makes for a good relationship. Now, if there's too many quick starts or too many stabilizers, that can lead to, you know, kind of not so perfect scenarios in whatever you're doing. So just know that that's what it's all rooted in. And now I want to walk through what the Kolbe is itself, and also what some of these deeper meanings are. So I'm just going to start by showing you what my Kolbe is, and at a very high level. And again, you can go to hustleandflowchart.com/KOLBE, and you can get started for yourself. And once you pay the $55, this is the page you will get after you complete the test, the results. So I am a 539er93. So 5393. And what that means. So what is it? The 5, each of these are from a range of 1 to 9, or 1 to 10, I think ultimately, but I think it's a 9. Point is, here it is. Fact finder. I'm a 5, basically middle of the road. And there's deeper meaning to these numbers, so I'm going to dive into these. The 3 is a follow through. So that means I'm lower on follow through. As a quick start, I'm a 9. So I'm basically maxed out. And as an implementer, I'm a 3. So a lot lower in that regard. Now, getting into this stuff here, I'm showing some visuals. So if you aren't on YouTube, I'm just going to shout out the YouTube channel. Go head over there. If you're not, just look up my name, Joe Fier, Fier, and hit the subscribe button if you don't mind. And you can watch what we're doing here, because I'm showing some visuals. I'll talk through it though, but there's a lot of visuals on the Kolbe results, which is really cool. So before I dive into the numbers themselves, I want to skip to this thing that they define that's a little different than normal. So the 3 parts of the mind is how they break it down. And Kolbe focuses on this thing called cognitive. Now, cognitive is a way of doing. It's part of the mind or the body, I guess, the whole makeup here. And it's kind of like what Justin talked about. A lot of us live in the brain, which part of the mind, that's one of the 3 parts, is cognitive. So the thinking part, that's your IQ, your skills, your reason, knowledge, experience, education, all the thinking stuff. a lot of us stay in the thinking and don't allow other things to help guide our actions, because ultimately we want to move. We want to put stuff in action, get stuff done. So there's the thinking part is one of the 3 parts of the mind. The second part, in whatever order, this is all kind of mixed together, is called the affective. That's with an A, affective part of the mind, which is more the feeling side of things. Those are your emotions. So things like desires, motivations, attitudes, preferences, emotions, values. And, the feeling side of things, just imagine anytime, like a lot of us maybe we run more emotional, maybe we run more thinking. And neither wrong, nothing, but like just think about how we can change in terms of our thinking. If we're stressed, if we're, whatever things are affecting us, our emotions can also change in the moment from environment to environment, scenario to scenario. And there's this third part that I feel like really ties everything together. And that's what the Kolbe focuses on, which is the cognitive. That's more the doing. So what are the things that drive you? What are your instincts? What are the necessities of you, like you as a human? The mental energy, like how do you consume energy? How do you feel when you consume that energy? Doing specific tasks or talking to certain people, doing things. The innate force within you, like what gets you to go? What are your innate talents, like the superpowers inside of you? So those are the 3 parts of your mind, and just having that in mind. That's how the Kolbe fits in, is right there in the cognitive side, which they claim is kind of the lost piece, is that getting out of your head, getting out of your emotions, but really into your instincts themselves. And I'm going to pause the episode really fast and shout out another show that's on the podcast network over at HubSpot. It's the audio destination for business professionals. This is Mistakes That Made Me. It's hosted by Iman Ismail. She is interviewing successful business owners and talking about, hey, what are those mistakes? What are the failures? What are the things that you hate to talk about that we can all learn from? I mean, like, let's be honest. Do you like to talk about your mistakes? Probably not. Well, that's what she's talking about. And it's going to be there. It is there waiting for you to listen so you can learn from those lessons and learn how to get past them or navigate around those big boulders on your own journey to success. So go listen to Mistakes That Made Me wherever you get your podcasts. If you're looking to unlock some more income and time freedom, then I want to tell you about Kartra. It's the ultimate all-in-one business platform for online success. Now with Kartra, you can create stunning pages and funnels, you can automate your marketing, launch online courses, and a bunch more, all in one place for one affordable price. Now Kartra has every tool you need to scale, it's super easy to use, and right now you can snag a free 30-day trial plus a 20% discount on your first payment when you use this URL. It's www.hustleandflowchart.com/Kartra. Again, that is hustleandflowchart.com/KARTRA. So that's what everything's rooted in. Now, knowing all of that, let's start breaking down the Kolbe, what this means and how you can use it. And then we'll call this one a wrap just so we keep it focused. So I'm going to break down mine and the 3 numbers and what they mean. So my first number is a 5. That's the fact finder category. And basically that's like, I am in the middle of the road, which is more like, this is how I gather and share information. I'm an explainer is what it says. And I agree. I kind of overtalk sometimes. It's probably why I have a podcast. I teach, but I'm not a simplifier and I'm not specific in terms of like step by step by step. I'm not that. So I'm kind of in the middle of the road. I'm an educator. I kind of blend both of those. So I'm a 5. Follow through is more of how I arrange and design things and how to actually like do stuff. Now I'm a 3 on that, which is more the adaptation part of things. Like I adapt to things. I'm not maintaining and I'm not systemizing. I'm not the one for the long run to just do the same process over and over. I'm more in the like, I'll try something new. I'm quick to adapt to new things. Maybe not too many new things at once, but enough new things. I'm comfortable in doing that. So my number is 3 there. Not all of us are there. Sometimes you might be higher. This is where it's like through the assessment, you start to, this is doing its magic work, its algorithms to figure out what these numbers are and where you lie. And it gives you a lot of actionable tips based off of each of these. I'm just going to kind of keep it surface level for the sake of time. So quick start. I am a 9. A lot of visionaries, as Justin Breen was talking about in the episode that earlier, is that a lot of visionaries, innovators are high quick starts. So 9 is where I'm at. That's the innovate category. Surprise, surprise. I'm not the middle of the road where it's modify. I'm not the stabilizer, which is where it's lower on the quick start, which is more like my wife, for instance, or maybe a good implementer in your business, your project manager, your ops person, your COO might be more the stabilizer, your business partner. These are all things to consider, people to surround yourself with. If you feel like you're a visionary, go, 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 thinking all the new ideas all the time, testing out new stuff. Well, find that person in your life that can stabilize things out for you. Implementer. So this is how you actually like tangibly do stuff, how you handle things in space. And like a lot of us keyboard warriors behind here are not great with our hands. That's not all the case, but I'm more the envisioner. So like think of what's possible, think of scenarios, what if scenarios, and like start to put it out there. I'm not the one in the middle where it calls restore, which is a little bit more of like middle of the road, or the one that demonstrates very specific steps on like building out something beautiful from scratch, be it with my hands or coding or, a design from scratch all the way to finish to the finite detail. I'm more the envisioner, big picture, and then honing things in. So 5393 is mine. Yours is probably different, but maybe similar. So I'm going to go through and you can see there's some tips they give you, the do's and don'ts, which are really cool because it basically starts to dive through each of the fact finder, follow through, quick start, and implementer, like what you should not do and what you should do. Something else I wanted to point out is that we all have different energy. Like we all have, they call them ergs of mental energy. So, we have only so much in us to give. And what it tries to do is it visualizes how you can use your energy to best suit your superpowers, and be the rock star you are. So for me, it's like, it basically breaks it down and says, hey, your explanation, like the what is it? The very first piece, which is the fact finder, I should be using about 25% of my energy there. Now on the adaptation, which is the 15%, and that is the follow through side of things, that is only 15%. So the follow through is low, and that's okay. And this is the thing is like sometimes we beat ourselves up that we don't follow through with all the things that we say we're going to do. Well, and this honestly, this visual and taking this assessment, I've taken it a couple times over the years. It's okay because this is why we delegate. This is why we have AI to help us do some automations. Adapting and following through with things. Maybe it's us just setting up the systems or communicating with our team, doing meetings and stuff like that, but not spending a ton of time there. For me, 45% is innovating, and that's actually, doing the quick start thing. And probably, most of my energy goes there because it's going to be what feels best and what I'll do best. And then envisioning is more 15%, which is the implementer for me. And that makes up for the energy. Another one, last piece here, is how I use my time. So this is something I've always struggled with is time management. Being too perfect, which Justin called out me on the podcast, is a lot of perfection. I would say that's where I'm the worst a lot of times. And I'm racing the clock. I literally have a timer right now that says 1 more minute and it's going to ring. So I got to wrap this puppy up. So it says when I'm spending time on things, do it in this order. Do it as a quick start first, then the fact finder, follow through, and then implementer. So it says basically use your strengths to your strength. First is solve the problem by brainstorming. And then next, review the data. Then look for shortcuts. And then fourth, visualize solutions. And that's where I feel like I'll never have, basically like I'll never have enough time if I'm working against the grain. This is how it solves it. So long story short, take the Kolbe. I got 30 seconds on my timer, so I'm racing the clock. Take the Kolbe, go to hustleandflowchart.com/Kolbe. I promise you're going to get some major insights. And also a hot tip is take this to ChatGPT, your number. So your number, take your number, and then maybe have other people in your maybe clients or on your team, put the number in there, your partner, and see how compatible you are. Start saying like, hey, where can I have red flags? How can I do better? And then like start mashing numbers up. That's where it gets interesting. My timer's going to go off right now. I got to go. Bye. All right. Until next time, seriously though, like this is awesome. I think for me, my big takeaway is, like I was saying, not perfecting, not trying to be everything, not beating myself up for the lack of follow through, which I've done for years now. Maybe you have as well, especially if you're a quick start. A lot of us, like I was just chatting with a friend today, I won't name you, but maybe you're listening because you know I'm recording this episode, is when you're doing a lot, sometimes things just start to fall through and you start to get overwhelmed. And typically that quick start might get the best of us as visionaries. And this is where we really need the support of systems or people who know systems that we can trust to help us follow through and implement things where we kind of can't shore that up ourselves. And then we end up beating ourselves up. And that's not fun. And that can get to really stressful times. So this is where the Kolbe has helped me not only identify my strengths and weaknesses, but find people around me to help shore up stuff. So everybody wins. That's the idea. So again, hustleandflowchart.com/Kolbe. Also, another one I want to shout out is Hustle, and I'm going over my time, I know, is to go to hustleandflowchart.com/one-thing. That is ONE thing. And just tell me what you want to learn. Like, what do you want to hear in this podcast? I want to hear from you, any specific topics. It's just a one question form. You don't need to put your name or email. You can if you want. And I just want to hear what you think. All right. Till next time. Thank you.